live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bringing you the news from Sri Lanka and across the world, it's a national news broadcast on Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira.
And I'm Sudhami Jayaratna. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
National Sign Language Day celebrations held under the leadership of the Prime Minister. National television appreciated for its contribution towards the right to information of deaf persons. Controller of the Immigration and Emigration, Harsha Ilukpitiya, gets a 2-year term of imprisonment. Forward any known information to security agencies regarding narcotics and the underworld if engaged in politics for the people, Minister Nalinda Jayatissa requests the opposition. Leave of Ceylon Electricity Board employees cancelled. Gazette notification to the Parliament tomorrow. The President to address the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly tomorrow. An export income exceeding $11 billion for Sri Lanka during the first 8 months of the year. Taiwan, Hong Kong and China severely affected by Cyclone Raasa. Sri Lanka in a crucial match of the Asia Cup cricket tournament today.
And before we get on with our local news, now Situmi, did you know that there was a difference between the terms deaf and impaired in hearing?
Yes, Siobhan. A deaf person cannot hear since his birth. However, persons with impaired hearing are able to hear at certain extent.
Now, today marks the World Sign Language Day dedicated for all people with hearing defects. The national ceremony to mark this day was held at the 19th floor of Suhurupaya today.
And also the national television honoured with a special award at this ceremony.
The National Sign Language Day ceremony was organised by the Department of Social Services. The theme of the ceremony was "Without Sign Language Rights, No Human Rights" as well. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya graced this occasion as the chief guest. Deputy Minister of Social Security and Community Empowerment, Dr. Upali Pannilage, and several public representatives and about 500 individuals of impaired hearing were also present at this occasion. It was significant that deaf and hearing impaired persons presented cultural items at this ceremony.
අපේ මුනියාන් දෙවියන් සිහි කරලා වදේ ලෙසට එළම සොයාගෙන එම වදේ ලෙසට කටු පන ගසාගෙන.
Addressing the gathering, Deputy Minister Dr. Upali Pannilage said that a program will be implemented in future to educate all state officials throughout the island on the use of sign language. 15 students with hearing defects who have distinctly passed the scholarship examination, GCE, O-level and A-level examinations last year were provided with financial assistance by the President's Fund. Secretary of the Fund, Additional Secretary to the President Subhash Gamage, represented the Presidential Fund at this occasion. A hotline WhatsApp number 0706 116 000 has also been introduced at this occasion for the individuals of hearing defects to address the Sign Language Division. Several Buddhist monks who completed sign language training were also provided with certificates by the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that a special attention has been focused for the disabled community by the policy manifesto of the National People's Power. The government is fully committed to provide equal rights to disabled people. Accordingly, necessary measures have been taken to accept sign language as a basic right. It is now at the Legal Draftsman Department for the approval.
ක්‍රියාවලිය අපි ආරම්භ කරලා තියෙනවා. දැන් ඒක ලීගල් ඩ්‍රාෆ්ට්ස්මන් ගාව තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අනුමත වුණාම අපි හිතනවා සංඥා භාෂාවට ලැබිය යුතු පිළිගැනීම අපිට නෛතික වශයෙන් අපිට ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන්.
A special evaluation award was conferred to the national television at the ceremony for its service rendered to the deaf community by presenting news through sign language, confirming the right to information. Director of the News and Current Affairs Division of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Vimuktika Karyavasam, and Chief News Editor Dhammika Kumara Ratnayaka accepted the award on behalf of the national television.
Controller of the Immigration and Emigration Harsha Irukpitiya, facing allegations of contempt of court, has been awarded a term of 2 years imprisonment by the Supreme Courts.
The order has been issued by Supreme Court Judge Justice Yasantha Kodagoda with the approval of Justices Janaka De Silva and Arjuna Ubesekara. The judge issuing the order also declared that the respondent Harsha Irukpitiya has committed a serious contempt of court by the Act. An interim injunction order was issued preventing the implementation of the decision taken by the Cabinet to award the issuance of visa to 2 private companies during the previous government. Later, the Supreme Court issued an interim injunction order to the controller of the Immigration and Emigration to re-implement the old process of issuing visa. The controller of the Immigration and Emigration Harsha Irukpitiya has been alleged of contempt of court by not implementing the above-mentioned the interim injunction order. The fundamental right petition filed requesting to quash an order issued regarding the recommendation forwarded by the Constitutional Council to the President to appoint High Court Judge Ranga Dissanayake as the Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption was withdrawn from the Supreme Court today. The petition was taken up before a 3-bench judge comprising Chief Justice Preeti Padman Surasena, Justices Mahinda Samyawardana and Sampatha Bekon. The petition has been filed by a group including the chief incumbent of Udawalawe Somavihara, Venerable Vevalduwe Gnanaratana Thera.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa informs to provide known information regarding narcotics and the underworld by opposition politicians if they are engaged in politics for the people. Now, the minister made this observation as an answer to a query made by a media person during the cabinet briefing.
Journalists
asked the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna whether the police were acting under government pressure by allegedly violating democratic principles and targeting SLPP supporters. Their question claims that supporters' houses were being raided and items planted to justify arrests without proper warrants. In response, Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that no one needed to fear arrest if they were not involved in crimes or drug trafficking. He pointed out that 2 grams of drugs was not an issue, but large hauls such as 750 kilograms of narcotics had recently been seized. He asked whether the SLPP General Secretary was suggesting that even 100 kilograms could be overlooked. The minister stressed that if individuals connected to politics were involved in illegal activity, the best course was to hand them over to the law rather than defend them. He further said that safeguarding the lives of school children and youth required exposing all political links to drug trafficking and helping law enforcement strengthen justice. He emphasized that no one was above the law regardless of political affiliation. Another journalist asked whether the government had plans to suppress the opposition, noting that the United National Party had marked its 79th anniversary by accusing the government of authoritarianism. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa replied that the idea of opposition suppression was unfounded. He cited an example from Indonesia where 3 underworld leaders, including a notorious figure known as Bako Saman, had been arrested together after hiding in one apartment. He suggested that those faced arrest and they feared it tended to gather in one place, making law enforcement easier. He added that it was not about silencing opposition, but about ensuring the law applied to everyone equally. The minister mentioned that the government parliamentarians have presented all assets accurately and legally and requested the assets of opposition parliamentarians also to be presented in the same manner. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that all assets could be disclosed down to the last rupee. He maintained that nothing had been hidden and that such assets were legally obtained. He added that those who had suspicion should allow legal process to take its course. According to him, public officials, members of parliament, ministers and even media heads should disclose their assets. He reminded that the country had faced bankruptcy and shortages of essential medicines but had since stabilized with the assistance of the IMF and the World Bank. The minister emphasized that the government was able to move the country, which was faced with an economic crisis, forward by providing a concession to the people and stabilizing the economy during the past 1 year. Journalists asked whether the government had plans to suppress the opposition, noting that the United National Party had marked its 79th anniversary by accusing the government of authoritarianism. The cabinet spokesman, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, replied that the idea of opposition suppression was unfounded, and he cited an example from Indonesia. Views have also been exchanged regarding the restructuring of the Ceylon Electricity Board. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that unless the Ceylon Electricity Board was restructured, the country would face a major crisis. He said reforms were essential to provide relief to the public and efficiently to industries. He called for scientific and professional restructuring so that the board could become profitable and contribute to national economic recovery. He urged electricity workers not to engage in strikes that would harm the economy, but instead to support the stabilization of the country.
Meanwhile, leave of all employees in the Ceylon Electricity Board have been cancelled with the immediate effect. It is reported that the General Manager of the Ceylon Electricity Board has informed it in writing. Under the order of the President, an extraordinary gazette notification was issued recently declaring all services connected to the power supply are essential services. The President has signed it under the power vested by the second clause of the Essential Public Service Act. This gazette notification has been issued considering the possible disruptions or interference of the essential services that are compulsory to maintain the normal life of the general public.
The Gazette notification issued by the President declaring all services pertaining to the supply of electricity as essential services will be presented in the Parliament tomorrow for approval. Now, this decision has been taken during the Parliament during Working Committee meeting held under the leadership of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne today. Meanwhile, views have also been aired in the Parliament regarding the crisis of the employees of the Ceylon Electricity Board. Minister Anura Karunatilaka said that as we all know, an act was passed in the recent past to divide the Ceylon Electricity Board into 12 sections and privatize one section of it. The present government asked an act to divide the board into 5 sections and award it to 5 companies with full state ownership in its place. Certain groups have no idea about this process, started a protest based on 21 demands. A considerable portion of these 21 demands have been covered by this act. These demands also include payment of employees' sick leave allowance for 2023 to be paid this year. The Board of Directors had approved it, and a decision has also been taken to increase medical assistance project by 50%.
වැඩි කරන්නත් තීන්දුව අධ්‍යක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයෙන් දැනටමත් අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මේ ඉල්ලීම් වලින් සැලකිය යුතු ප්‍රමාණයක් දැනටත් ඉෂ්ට කරලා තියෙන්නේ. එම අද මේ වෘත්තීය සමිති කරනවා වගේ.
Parliamentarian Chandana Suryaarachi pointed out that the trade unions protested the privatization of the Ceylon Electricity Board by going on sick leave in January 2024, exactly the same way they are doing now. 62 employees who had gone on sick leave were dismissed. The National People's Power government reinstated those employees. 92 activists, including trade union leaders, were under the injunction orders to prevent them from entering the Ceylon Electricity Board. The presidential election was held on the 21st of September 2024, and a cabinet decision was taken on the 14th of September this year to remove 12,000 out of the 22,000 employees of the CEB. The then government had taken action to dismiss 12,000 employees, he added. Parliamentarian Chamra Sampath Dasanayaka asked the reason regarding the victory of Paul Raj and the defeat of Kanchana. He said that 12 or 15 companies were created by them, which was a mistake and corrected later. Parliamentarian Dr. Najit Indika said that the Ceylon Electricity Board talked about an act where the CEB could be sold to 12 companies. A new act was passed by abolishing the previous one, and this can be termed as a lie propagated deliberately. The target has been to provide the necessary supply of electricity and to reduce the electricity bill by 30% by 2028. In more local news, President Anurakumara Dissanayake left the island last night to participate in the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Now, the President will address the UN General Assembly at 3:15 p.m. US time tomorrow. President Anurakumara Dissanayake will join bilateral discussions with General Secretary of the United Nations and several other world leaders. The President will also participate in a meeting with Sri Lankan diaspora in the USA. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijitha Herath is also participating in this officials tour with the President. Meanwhile, President Anurakumara Dissanayake will also start an official visit in Japan on the 27th of this month under the invitation made by the Japanese government. During the visit, the President will also meet the Japanese Emperor. The President will also take part in a meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister, which will raise concern on so many mutually important issues to both countries. The President is further scheduled to address a business forum comprised with top-level businessmen and investors in Tokyo. The President will take part in the Expo 2025 Osaka exhibition as well. The aim of this event is to exhibit Sri Lanka's cultural heritage and economic potentials before the international community. The President will also expect to address the Sri Lankan community living in Japan. US President Donald Trump, in his first speech at the United Nations General Assembly since 2020, told the UN members that it's time to end failed experiment of open borders. He singled out Europe, saying that the continent is in serious trouble over migration. President Trump's arrival at the UN was greeted with hundreds of protesters who gathered around the UN compound in New York. We have our senior journalist Vijay Dissanayake in New York, and he filed this report a short while ago.
Good morning from the United Nations headquarters in New York City, where the global attention is focused on the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, a milestone moment for the institution born in the aftermath of World War II, with a mission to promote peace, diplomacy and multilateral cooperation.
Turn around this way, cross the street. My God. It's opening up on that side.
But this year's celebration comes at a time of deep global divisions within these walls and outside. Protesters have gathered outside UN complex, voicing frustration over issues ranging from the war in Gaza, climate inaction, and the growing tensions between the world's superpowers. As the US hosts leaders from around the world in New York City this week, President Trump has withdrawn the US from multiple UN agencies, including the Human Rights Council and World Health Organization. The US has also cut its contributions to the UN, with the President and his administration critical of their approach to Israel and extensive US-funded reach around the world. On its 80th anniversary, the United Nations stands as a symbol of global cooperation, but also this week as a stage for competing visions of peace, power and the path forward in a fractured world. Reporting from the United Nations headquarters, I am Vijay Dissanayake for SLRC News.
Moving on with more local news, acting ministers have been appointed for 4 ministries that come under the President and Minister Vijitha Herath.
The deputy ministers of the relevant ministries have been appointed for the vacant post. The ministers were appointed since the President Anurakumara Dissanayake and Minister Vijitha Herath have left the country to take part in the 80th session of the UN General Assembly. Accordingly, the President's media unit says that Minister Anil Jayantha Fernando has been appointed as the Minister of Finance, Policy Planning and Economic Development. Deputy Minister Eranga Weeraratne is the acting minister for the Ministry of Digital Economy. Deputy Minister Aruna Jayasekara is the acting minister for the Ministry of Defence. In addition, Deputy Minister Arun Hemachandra has been appointed as the Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism.
Export earnings of Sri Lanka has exceeded $11 billion during the first 8 months of 2025. Now, this has been mentioned in a report issued by the Export Development Board. The export sector of Sri Lanka has shown strikingly positive and stable improvement during the last 8 months of the year. The entire export earnings has been $11,554.32 million, which is an increase of 6.61% compared to the same period of 2024. During the month of August in 2025, the total export income in commercial commodities and services was $1,607.58 million. This is an annual increase of 2.57% compared to the month of August in 2024. These positive results demonstrate the effect of the strategic efforts taken to improve the strength and global competition and also expand the market access of Sri Lanka. During the month of August, the export earnings have been increased to $1.6 billion and it has exceeded $11 billion during the first 8 months. This also projects the strength of exporters in the face of global challenges. The Export Development Board points out that the export target of 2025 can be achieved by the improvement of competition and the diversification of the market by being careful about the future unexpected situations. In the month of August in 2025 alone, the export of commercial commodities has been increased by 5.13% to reach a figure of $1,294.83 million. According to the informal data of the Sri Lanka Customs, this includes estimated income of gems and jewellery and that of petroleum products. From January to August this year, the commercial commodity exports have recorded $9,092.85 million, which is an increase of 6.89% compared to the same period of 2024. The exports in service sector has become a main strength for the entire export increase. During the month of August, export earnings from services recorded a figure of $312.75 million. Service export has increased by 5.57% during the first 8 months of this year, which is an amount of $2,461.46 million. According to the Export Development Board, these trend in figures signify the importance of improvement in the knowledge-based economy of Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, police have seized 1,845 kilograms of ice narcotics and a large stock of heroin, cannabis, hashish and cocaine so far during this year. Police media spokesman ASP F.U. Butler elaborated on this matter at the press briefing held today to inform the cabinet decision. Police media spokesman ASP F.U. Butler said that so far this year, police have seized 1,845 kilograms of ice narcotics, 472 kilograms of hashish, 29 kilograms of cocaine and 14,057 kilograms of cannabis. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that he is grateful to the people who are providing information to the police. Some arrests were made under the information given by the general public. People have developed a confidence over the enforcement of the law strictly. Meanwhile, a lorry driver arrested yesterday at Sinmodara in Thangol during a raid on heroin and ice narcotics has been ordered to detain 7 days for interrogation. This order was issued when the suspect was produced before the Thangol Chief Magistrate.
Now, the inauguration ceremony of the Sri Lanka Mice Expo 2024 exhibition commenced in Cinnamon Life Hotel in Colombo today. The Sri Lanka Mice Expo 2025 exhibition is scheduled to be held for 5 days with the participation of 100 representatives from 30 countries. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya was the chief guest of this event. The aim of this exhibition is to engage in business activities in the international level and is also a valuable platform to bring the name of Sri Lanka onto the global stage. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that this is not merely an event but an opportunity for local entrepreneurs and stakeholders to directly engage in international business activities and to gain knowledge. The Premier pointed out that this exhibition is also an excellent platform to strengthen connections between international buyers and local suppliers. The Sri Lanka Mice Expo 2025 exhibition organised by the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism. Chairman of the Bureau, Dira Hettiarachi, and many others were present at this inaugural ceremony.
The Sri Lanka Mice Expo is more than just an exhibition. It is a celebration of opportunity, collaboration and vision. This year's Expo brings together over 100 international mice agents and more than 15 international media representatives, providing an exclusive platform to engage directly with our local industry stakeholders. It is a testament to the confidence the international community continues to place in Sri Lanka as a destination for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Tourism has long been one of Sri Lanka's most vital economic sectors. In 2024, tourism earnings reached US $3.1 billion, and up to August this year, we have already generated US $2.3 billion. Tourism is now our third largest foreign exchange contributor, and it serves as a catalyst for growth and positive change across the economy. Within this, MICE tourism has emerged as a high-value niche that offers year-round opportunities, reducing the impact of seasonality while positioning Sri Lanka on the global stage. Our country's greatest advantage is its strategic location in the heart of the Indian Ocean. With seamless connectivity to Asia, the Gulf, West Asia and beyond, Sri Lanka is uniquely positioned to become a premier hub for business events.
Admiral Dinesh Kumar Tripathi, Chief of Naval Staff of the Indian Navy, paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya at the Parliament today. The Prime Minister commended the Navy's vital role in tackling pressing challenges such as drug smuggling, illegal fishing and safeguarding the livelihoods of communities in the north and east. The Prime Minister underscored the importance of protecting shared maritime resources and expressed interest in enhancing collaboration in joint anti-narcotics operations. Admiral Tripathi reaffirmed India's commitment to support Sri Lanka and highlighted the growing number of Sri Lankan officials receiving training in India. After participating in the Goal Dialogue International Maritime Conference 2025 organized for the 12th time by the Sri Lankan Navy, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi is scheduled to depart the island on September 25th.
The government signed a grant agreement with the European Union today for €8 million. Now, the aim of this agreement is to foster sustainable economic recovery through improved biodiversity conservation and solid waste management. This will be jointly implemented by the Ministry of Public Administration, Provincial Councils and Local Government, the Ministry of Environment and the European Union. Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development says that this project supports biodiversity conservation by restoring degraded ecosystems, implementing targeted conservation strategies and promoting sustainable land use practices. The agreement was formally signed on behalf of the government by Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and Carmen Moreno, Ambassador of the European Union to Sri Lanka on behalf of the EU.
The government has taken measures to permanently address the flood threat in Kalani River Basin. The public representatives of the area says that several measures have already been taken in this connection. Several areas in the Kalani River Basin, including Kaduwela, Valivita, Raggahavatta and Bogahavatta, inundates even in a small shower these days. The villagers stated that this problem have erupted following the construction of the pumping station in Ambatale as a remedy to prevent flood threats in Parliament and surrounding areas. It is a huge problem that flood caused by even a small rain lasts for days, causing immense difficulties to about 2,000 families in the area. Accordingly, measures has been taken to renovate the Heen Alla Canal up to a stretch of 3 kilometers for the solution of this problem. It has been implemented under the supervision of parliamentarian Asitha Niroshana and with the contribution of the residents of the area.
The funeral of the late veteran actor Nalin Pradeep Uduwela will be held at the Mattegona General Cemetery on the 25th of this month. He passed away this morning while undergoing treatment at the hospital for an ailment for some period. He was 56 years old at the time of his demise. He was a father of 2 children. He has shown his acting talents on the stage, in teledrama and cinema. He started his artistic career in 1991 by the teledrama Duragamana, directed by Dayaratna Ratagedara. For the first time, he acted in a main character in the teledrama Andare. Later, he joined the stage drama Juliet's Role, directed by Jackson Anthony. He was popular among the fans through teledramas Patti, Kinduru Adaviya and Pinsara Dostara, Pinivasa and many others. He also contributed in acting for many popular advertisements. His remains are scheduled to be brought to his residence at the 2nd lane in Prasanna Gardens in Mattegoda tonight. Now for some development news items in brief. Galkanda Bridge along the Beragala-Vallavai road is being developed at a cost of 150 million rupees. The narrow bridge is replaced with a broader new bridge with the objective of easing the traffic congestion at this place. Parliamentarian Ravindra Bandara recently inspected the development activities of the bridge. The road from Farm Junction to Bogasandhya in the Rajangana is being developed with laying carpet. A sum of 32.2 million rupees will be spent to develop an 8-kilometer stretch of the road. The construction work started under the patronage of Deputy Minister Susil Ranasinghe. And we're going to a short break. When we come back, international news on the other side. Stay tuned. And we're back with your international news. Raasa cyclone has already inflicted severe impact on the Philippines, Taiwan, Hong Kong and China.
Reports have indicated that all these administrations have implemented special emergency measures to address this unfolding disaster.
The Philippines has suffered fatalities and widespread displacement as Raasa struck northern provinces, triggering floods and landslides. At least 3 people are confirmed dead, 5 missing and over 17,500 displaced. Taiwan is also grappling with disruption as more than 7,000 people have been evacuated, with infrastructure damage has been reported, including a washed-away bridge in Hualien country. In southern China, over 770,000 people have been evacuated, with estimates that over 1 million may need relocation. Cities including Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Zhuhai and others have closed schools, businesses and suspended public transportation. In Hong Kong, authorities raised the storm alert, ordering the closure of schools and many businesses, cancelling hundreds of flights, issuing flood warnings and distributing sandbags. Meteorological authorities report that Raasa is currently sustaining winds equivalent to a super typhoon strength. Raasa is expected to make landfall along the coast of Guangdong within the next day.
Prima Stella, අපි හැමෝම කැමති.
And in our sports news, a pathetic collapse and display of bad batting in the top order for Sri Lanka in the crucial match for Sri Lanka against Pakistan in the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup T20 cricket tournament is now in progress in Abu Dhabi. Now, after winning the toss, Pakistan decided to field first. Accordingly, batting first, Sri Lanka scored just 105 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in 17 overs at the moment when the last reports came in. And that was a look at your news here at Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I've been Siobhan Pereira together with Situmi Jayaratna. Wish you a pleasant week ahead. Take care and good night.